Hello, Julie Bartkus here, and I bet you can't guess what we're talking about today. But I'm here with marketing guru, Mr. Michael Tasner, and we're joining you live for our Get Connected show. And today we are talking to you about holiday ideas, and we're going to be talking to you about that from a staff perspective as well as a marketing perspective, because we're only, 3 weeks out from the big day, which is really hard to believe, but I'm so thankful for it after Thanksgiving because it's going to give my system a little time to relax and get ready for the next big meal.
And I like how the days fall. So I think like Christmas Eve is like a Thursday. So you get Christmas on Friday. So you get, at the very least, you can take a nice long weekend. And I don't know about you. I've tried to use the week between Christmas and New Year's as a kind of 50-50. I've used it as kind of a relax and recharge. But then the other 50%, I've used it as kind of doing I personally like to do my kind of yearly planning right at the end of the year. Yeah. And I know there's lots of obviously different ways to do it and when to do it, but I found that at the end of the year for me always has been a good time just because things change so often. This has definitely been the year of change and uncertainty and curveballs and things like that. So I find, if I would have done my 2021 plan 3 months ago, for example, I would have already changed it probably 3 or 4 times. So
yeah, and that's what the experts are saying when it comes to planning is to plan in shorter blocks of time, because I think the thinking of a year-long plan or a 5-year plan, it seems to be becoming more obsolete from what the experts are telling us in terms of planning. And it's becoming more like a 90-day year, plan for the 90 days that you want to have, plan for the next 30 days, shorten the period of time.
I bought that book. I've got way too many books that I've bought and haven't read. So I'm assuming you've read the book, the 90-day year.
The 90-day year.
So I started reading it, and the theories and the concepts were solid. And then I think my ADD kicked in, and then I grabbed another book and something else. And I don't know. Some books I like to buy. I've got a huge bookshelf over here. So some books I love to buy physically, and then other books I just just throw it right on there or Kindle.
Yes.
So I think I bought 6 books last night. So like a lot of times I'll see these like people on Facebook that'll say, "Oh, what are your favorite books?" So I use the Facebook saved option. Okay, great. Here's this book, and a lot of them I've heard of. There's a lot of ones that repeat ones, which are obviously good reads. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The One Thing, which is a really good book. So, and then you start to see someone like, I haven't heard of that. And
and there are some experts out there too, Michael, who say that if you find that one good, impactful book on your life, that is a book that you should maybe not read the others and just read the same book 100 different times, because every time you read that book, you're going to become a different person and implementing a new strategy and idea. So there's that theory too. And I often wonder, I'm like, and I've done that with some books where I've read it over and over and over and over, or listened to it over and over and over again. And it's been very impactful.
Oh, that's a great point. And I think maybe I should, and would encourage our listeners to do the same thing, that if there's a couple of books that you're like, wow, these have really made an impact. And I know Julie has said a couple of hers. I know one of hers is definitely Think and Grow Rich. I'm a huge Robert Kiyosaki fan. So, a lot of you have either heard of or read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. So that's kind of shaped not necessarily my investment mindset, but just kind of shaped my thoughts around kind of making money and spending money and things like that. And that's a great point, that often you're continuing to kind of seek that next thing, but often everything that you need is in that one book. And if you were to really I like it.
Yeah. So sometimes instead of just abandoning the idea, go back and revisit it and see how you're different and how the book might help you take you to the next level again. So, and there's some books I'm just like, I want to go back and read that one and dig into it. So yeah. So, and if you're here tuning in, say hello and let us know. I'm curious. I don't know if Michael is or not, but are you decorated for the holidays? Are you ready? Or are you one of those people like I usually am last minute? So let us know if you're ready for the holidays or not. And we're going to have a great show today about holiday ideas and things that you could do with your staff, things that you could do with your marketing. And if you've got some great ideas, of course, we'd love your input as well. And we just want to have a little bit of fun with this show today, especially with the holidays right here upon us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a little bit of an echo also. Okay. No, I think it's gone.
No.
It just left. So
Okay.
I heard it just for 1 second. Now it sounds like it's gone. So
Right.
good to go there. So a lot of you have either been asking or asked, like, hey, I mean, what are you doing for your team? What are you doing for a party? Are you doing bonuses? Some of you have been talking about, which we're going to talk a little bit about later in the conversation. Hey, there seems to be a lot of like weird holiday gossip. Some of you have been talking about when I'm saying talking about on different Facebook groups that Julie and I have, whether they're the ones that we both own or the ones that we contribute to, or just kind of in the childcare universe in general. I'm just seeing so much stuff on the holidays, and I'm seeing a lot of it around staffing and how do you communicate to your staff? How are you communicating to your existing families? But then also from a marketing standpoint, are you doing anything from a marketing standpoint? Are you trying to tie in to the holidays? Or are you just kind of focusing on kind of keeping the status quo, which is not a bad thing either?
Or are you a little scattered and not sure what to do because maybe there's not a lot of budget there? And I think we can get some ideas on the table today that will cost you like absolutely nothing, but will have a very profound impact on your team or on your parents and the people who you have the opportunity to serve.
Love it.
And I also think too, with marketing, there's probably some partnership ideas that we could throw on the table too, this time of year, especially when it comes to, gifts that you want to give to your parents or to your staff. And I'd love to share some of those. And I know Michael will probably have a ton of those ideas as well.
So let's start with kind of, I guess, holiday communication with team, and maybe just talk through that a little bit. And I would love to hear kind of what you're either encouraging the clients that you're working with, what you're talking about at a high level. This tends to be one of those times where a lot of people start to kind of look for feedback, or you kind of do things that you've always done in the past. And I know there's been a lot of questions just around what are you up to? Hey, it's either been a tough year, but do you still try and do something for your team? How are you dealing with team members that want the week between Christmas and New Year's off? And so there's a lot of different things that we could look at unpacking, and would love to kind of brainstorm some ideas, take some questions. I'm going to pose a few questions on the little chat box here. Hello, Susan.
Awesome.
Nice to see you here.
And I'm here to bring you some sweet ideas.
I like it. I'm mad I didn't have my Santa hat because we're fully decked out.
Mine on.
Yeah, we're fully decked out at our house. We've got
nice.
I'm a huge Balsam Hill tree fan, so we've got 2 Balsam Hill trees. I went to Bath and Beyond, Bath and Body Works, and I bought the scent, that makes it smell like a real tree. So once a day we spray the trees, and my wife's got like a tree, not a warmer, but like one of those other tree scent things behind it. So we're
That's
fully.
Cool. I don't have the smell going yet, and I did some no-bake cookies this morning, which are more of a protein cookie, but those don't smell at all. So, but I do have to get the smell going a little bit. We've tried with some like cinnamon scented pine cones and that kind of thing, but the smell goes away very quickly. And but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I don't even believe it's here, but it's kind of nice to decorate this year. And we are huge fans of driving around and looking at lights. We did 2 big light shows this weekend, and they were both fabulous. And I always love just finding lights in the area. And it's kind of our little adventure that we go on is trying to find the Christmas lights.
Love it. Love it.
It's in the house too.
So which one would you like to look at first? So we'll look at kind of staff and kind of communication there, but which one do you want to tackle? I mean, there's a lot of different things to unpack or to look at, but where would you like to start?
We could start with team, and we could start with some simple things that you could do that maybe cross the line of communication, morale, and something that would be perceived as a really nice holiday thing to do. So we could start there.
Love it. Love it.
That sound okay.
I like it.
One of the ideas that I'm going to bring to the table is for the month of December, I encourage you to pick a theme and have a theme word or a theme phrase. And you can even get your team involved with picking the theme, but then every single day of the week, you try to bring that theme to life. And sometimes with my clients, we give out these little dice, which are really cool. And we roll these dice and we pick a theme, enjoy the journey. The time is now. It's got different things on it. I've got a couple different sets of these, but this is one way to pick a theme. And it's just about, hey, how do we make it a happy day every single day of the week this week? And that could be the theme. But I encourage you, pick a theme for the month, put it up like in big bright letters where you can so that everybody can see it. And then ask your team, how do we bring this to life more and more and more every single day? So if the theme is happiness, if the theme is joy, if the theme is sweetness, if the theme is whatever it might be, how do you bring that to life? And I guarantee you, your team's going to have lots of ideas. So let's say, for example, your theme of the month is sweetness. Maybe it's a sweet gesture that we can do on Monday, and maybe it's a sweet treat that we get on Tuesday, and maybe it's a sweet word we whisper to somebody else on Wednesday. Whatever it might be, but you could think about all different ways to bring that theme to life. And there's so many different words that you can pick from. Joy is one of my absolute favorite. Sweet is something I get called a lot, which is why my sister made me this hat, because it's so, and I don't know, it's kind of a love-hate relationship I have with the word sweet, but it's been said so much. So I'm like, all right, I'll just own it. So sweet, joy, happiness, gratefulness, whatever it might be, pick the word, have it direct your attitude, your direction throughout the month.
Is that dice is that a custom dice that you made, or is that something that you buy from Amazon, or what?
I'll have to find these. Actually, I found these at Michael's and I just grabbed them all up. They were on clearance. And there's another set that I have too that has some really cool words on it, but I have not seen them or found them online.
Yeah, I absolutely love the idea.
But we roll them. So in live workshops, we actually roll these puppies and we say, okay, my theme for the day is to be brave. So what's one thing I'm going to do to step out of my comfort zone? And then we look at another day and we're like, oh, today's my day to stay inspired. So these are really cool. So by Google, large dice with words, or you could probably even get some wooden blocks with, what is the 6 sides, or one, two, three. Yeah, so with 6 sides, and put some words on it that you would love and spin it. And that's the person's theme for the day. So you can have one theme word for your team, or everybody can have their own theme word. And people can even guess what their theme word is if they're all going to be doing different ones, which is really fun.
I absolutely love the idea. I think that's great from a morale standpoint, from a communication standpoint of kind of rallying the troops and getting them aligned. So there's a great book that I've mentioned in the past called Rockefeller Habits. And then there's another book that's kind of goes along, they're conjoined essentially, but Rockefeller Habits Scaling Up, kind of by Vern Harnish. And they're huge with picking quarterly themes. So what's the theme of the quarter? And then you look at, okay, great, how do you involve the entire team? So if the theme for the quarter is happiness or joy, what are some of the things that you can measure and track? And then as you go through the quarter, what are some of the fun prizes? So example, and I'll tell you, we did this with our team. So we had, the theme was definitely not as fun as joy or happiness, but it was just around kind of finishing the year strong. So we had a revenue target, but we designed it so that kind of every person at the team, whether they were in sales or business development or not, could help kind of contribute. And then we had a couple of different levels. And I think we fit the first level, not the third level, but you want to have kind of minimum a target and then kind of a mind blower goal essentially. And little fun prizes and rewards, Amazon gift cards, things like that. But I've also seen childcare centers that have done something similar, but they've had, if we hit the big goal, we're going to do, I don't know, a fun camping weekend or something like that with the team, which would be a little bit tough to do right now with COVID, but I mean, something like that, or a fun gathering, and you can have the grand prize. You can do things that don't cost you anything, so they get an extra day off, for example, during the course of the year, or they get the preferred parking spot, or I mean, just fun things to kind of continue to involve everyone. But I like the big dice idea and having kind of fun words and phrases and things like that to have that theme.
Yeah, I agree. It makes it a lot of fun to have a theme word, and it just gives a little bit of variety in what you're doing, and it makes people think and focus on that word. So, it's really cool to incorporate, like, oh, stay inspired. That's what today is all about. And I love that too, what you're thinking about, having a theme and then having a reward associated with that. That's all good too. So you can really take any of these ideas and just elaborate on them to your heart's content, and themes are just a lot of fun to play with. Think about even then even balloons, right? Even balloons with motivational words on it. You can go and get 6 balloons, and you could have somebody go, blindfold them and spin them around and have them go to that balloon and find it. And that's the theme for the day, whichever one they pick. So there's so many different ways that you can pick a theme that would be fun. Or you could even put theme words inside of helium balloons that people can pop, and then they pull it out, and that's the theme. So there's a lot of different ways that you can just make this a lot of fun with your theme words. And think about what I would encourage you to do with a theme is think about the value words. Think about the words that you really want to see people incorporating every single day. It could be excitement. It could be happy hello. You can have a theme that is unique greetings, where people get really creative in how they greet their coworkers, whether it's with a handshake. And my nieces are really good at this. They're always making up like different dances or different things that they do together. So like, when you see them one time, it's like, here's their cool handshake. The next time they're doing a greeting, and it's like, here's this cool dance where they're like jumping up in the air and bumping bellies and, all these different things. But you can really set a theme of today is all about cool greetings. I want you every time you see a coworker to take it up to a next level and think about how can you say hello differently? How can you say hi? Whatever it might be, but just inspire that creativity. And some people might need some help, and some people will probably be the idea generator of the activity. Like, oh, okay, do this, do this, do that.
Oh, I like that a lot. No, you get me excited with all these fun ideas. Susan, I'm going to show Susan's comment here. So
Susan,
she mentioned we normally have a big Christmas bash for our staff. Santa comes to the center, gives each child a gift, which I love that idea. This year will be a little bit different. We're doing a 12 days of Christmas drawing. Each staff will receive a small gift along with the bonus this year.
Right.
Yeah, I absolutely love that idea. I love the 12 days of Christmas idea. There's just a lot of fun things that you can do. And it's a really good time to drive morale home. And a lot of people don't assume that everyone is in a great mood around the holidays. I've unfortunately seen a lot of the opposite, where this is a tough holiday, and it was tough for a lot of people that are used to like big Thanksgivings, for example, and they celebrated them at home, and they're like, is Christmas going to be the same because COVID in a lot of states is getting worse? Yeah. So anything that you can do now just to kind of keep the morale of your team up, to keep your team inspired, to continue to push the vision, to keep them motivated, anything that you can do, that stuff goes a really, really long way. And just having fun things for them to look forward to, like, popping the balloon, for example, of what's going to be the fun theme for the day. And you can take that to whatever levels you want and be creative. You could get, $10 shirts made for your team, for example, that have the inspirational phrase of the day or for the week. And maybe each week for the next couple of weeks, you give them something small.
Yeah.
And as Julie mentioned, it's definitely a great way to also look at partnering with some of your vendors. Yeah. One of the things that, and I'm saying this now, everyone's going to send me an email asking for this, but one of the centers that we work with, they've asked, in lieu of kind of us sending them a holiday gift, and sometimes we send holiday gifts, sometimes we don't. So I've never had a rhyme or a reason. We have been asked to make a couple of gift baskets for their staff that they then give away at the holiday party.
Oh,
which I thought it was a great. And they asked, I think, all the vendors that they were working with. So marketing agency, there's a lot of software tools, payroll companies, and it's not that everyone's going to say yes, but they kind of give you some direction. Hey, if you're going to send a $50 gift basket, it was a fun way for them to get 5, 10, 15 different baskets. And candidly, it also saved them the money where they could then use that to do other stuff with their team. But
yeah.
Look at the different people that you've partnered with, or look at, are there some things that you could do that are even free? Could you get if you've got a dentistry that you're partnering with, or a gym or something like that, could you get a couple of 3-month passes or things like that? A lot of these things cost next to nothing, and maybe in exchange you're gonna, the gym owner can send their child to your center for a month or something like that. So there's obviously lots of fun ways. I guess, and I think I told this story on here a while ago, maybe not, but I started my business largely through barter. And that's how I was using Craigslist. And I was posting in the barter section saying, hey, I'm willing to barter website design for your business in exchange for ? And there's a lot of fun ways. I mean, if a lot of businesses, they're in the same situations. A lot of them had challenging years and things like that. They're not flush with cash, but how could you get creative? And you could still do nice things for your team and have it cost very little.
Yeah. So you need a book now. So Barter Your Way to Breakthrough Business Success.
I like that one. I'm going to have to multitask and order that one.
Right. Well, yeah, that's your book.
Oh, I thought you were. Actually, I thought you were saying that that's a book that already exists. So
No, that's your book. You need to write it. There's your title.
I like it. I literally was just Googling at the same time. I'm like, Barter Your Way, that's a good title. But
Barter Your Way through breakthrough business success.
Oh, and it's just something. It's outside the box. I mean, and that's really at this type of game that we're at currently. You've got to start thinking outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
And what can you do to just help other businesses? And I mean, not everyone, but most people have kids. I mean, what if you were to do a Saturday holiday shopping day where they could drop their kids off, for example, and just, hey, you could phrase it like this. Maybe you contact a few business owners that, hey, would you be willing to donate a $20 gift card to our staff? And in exchange, you'd be happy to watch a kid or two on Saturday so you could go shopping or something like that. So kind of start to get scrappy.
And when you're thinking about that too, think about if you do get that gift card from the auto dealer, from the pizza guy, whatever, why not invite them into one of your Zoom chats with your staff or with your parents, if you're doing Zooms with your parents, and say, listen, in exchange for this, I would love for you to make a guest appearance and talk to our staff about 5 ways that they could take care of their car during the holidays, or 5 ways to extend their gas mileage, or whatever it might be. That would be really a cool topic for your staff, that they would want to listen to this guy, but it allows them to build relationships with him and then utilize their services more. So in return for that $25 gift card, give him a little stage time on whatever platforms you've created. Even if it's a live, you go live to your Facebook page and say, I'd love to introduce you to my 2,000 friends and family. So give them some stage time and give your people a little bit of education on that topic. And if it's pizza, maybe it's about making your own amazing pizza at home, whatever it might be. So I think there's that kind of exchange that could happen also, which could be very powerful. The other thing, think about if you do use something like the dice idea, or the balloons. I should have brought down my Thanksgiving balloons. Jim is a huge balloon guy, my boyfriend. But the balloons, imagine rolling the dice or popping the balloon, doing a live video of that right on Facebook and announcing what the theme is. So it gives you a little marketing right there, hand in hand with your staff motivation idea. And you can even say, okay, parents, all right, everybody, this is our theme for the week. Be on the lookout for team members who are going to really be incorporating this into what we're doing this week. So I think it could be made for some amazing marketing as well, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Show the popping of the balloon, show the rolling of the dice, and let people get really excited about the theme, your whole community, not just the people who work for you.
I didn't think about that until you were saying it. I think it's such a great idea to get the parents involved. I mean, maybe whatever the first parent that drops their kid off gets to pop the balloon, and that's on Facebook Live. And then all of a sudden you get a couple of parents that are trying to get there early because they want to be the one that gets to pop the balloon.
Yep.
One of the places, so every Thanksgiving for the last 3 years, minus this year, we've went to Great Wolf Lodge in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Oh, nice.
So never been a huge Thanksgiving person. So instead we went to an indoor water park for the kids and just avoided all the Black Friday stuff. It was always crowded. I mean, the Great Wolf Lodge always sells out. But they had a nice Thanksgiving dinner, and a lot of Canadians would go. So it wasn't like as crowded because it wasn't Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they would do to generate crowds, and they often would be filming this for social media, so there'd be signs up that say, in sitting down here from whatever 9 to 9:15, you're consenting that we can use your likeness and imagery on social media, is that they would do prizes. So they did a couple things. Number one, they would do questions. Usually they were the same questions like, if you get lost, what do you do? Or where's the first aid station? I mean, things that relate to their business. And then they would give some fun prizes for XYZ, like thing for, I don't know, free sandwich or something. Obviously, doesn't apply to a childcare center. You're not going to give a free sandwich, but maybe you could. But what they were doing is they were generating these crowds every single day before opening, and they had someone there that's filming, and then all of a sudden, half hour later, that's going on social media, and it's generating that buzz. And oh, hey, wave to everyone that's not here, and say, hey, wish you were here. And
yes,
it creates that excitement.
absolutely.
And it literally costs them next to nothing. My favorite thing that they do, I won it one time. I put in for it every time that we go. It's called the Family of the Day. And you get a couple of passes when you check in. I think you get 1 or 2 entries. You can enter 1 entry each day. And if you get picked, you get this nice cabana and free food, and it's worth like $500. So it's a nice prize.
Right.
But people line up to get there, and just is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
That sounds great. And I think anything that you could do to be creative like that, it's amazing and it's fun. And I don't think we have to think like, oh, I need, $50 per staff, or I need $100 per staff. There's so much stuff that you can do that will touch their heart forever and create braggable moments and wow moments forever that don't cost anything. So another idea that I have for you when it comes to staff, is why not right now? Get some testimonials from your parents. And this is a great marketing and staff appreciation idea, but get some testimonials from your parents in terms of why they love their teacher. You could say, oh, Miss Susie's always, she gives great hugs and this and this and this and this and this and this. And then at your Christmas party, even if you do it virtually via Zoom, you could play all the parent testimonials for your staff. And I guarantee you, there'll probably be some Kleenex that's needed as well. That might be the little spend there, because people will tear up and they're going to take those memories. And if you do it on Zoom, they've got that link, or they could record it, and they've got those words forever to impact their day. So start now and ask parents, can I get a little, just a little 30 seconds of you saying something really cool about your teacher? What is it? And get those and collect them and then play them at your holiday party. And that will touch your staff in big, huge, amazing ways.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And don't leave yourself out of the equation. Also record some words for your staff, which is another idea in itself, is that you could actually get one of those, like I know Michael uses Loom, but you could also do Bonjero or a Bomb, and make some holiday greeting cards for your staff that are verbal, and let them know why you hired them, why you're so excited to move forward with them, why you're just thrilled that they're a part of the vision, and record those for your staff. And then send them out right on Christmas. So Christmas morning, they get that virtual card from you. They can open it up and hear your words about all the reasons that you hired them, your vision, what you're looking forward to. And you're also then in the process inspiring them to really be thinking bigger than the stress of the current situation, that we're all here impacting the children. And what we're doing is going to make a forever impact. And they need to hear that.
And I think that's really something that I hope everyone that's listening, and everyone that's re-listening implements that, because there's a big misconception that you have to reward your team with money and prizes. Now, I love rewarding with prizes, and I have many ways that we do that. And I've talked about several of those. We do Cheers for Peers, where you can send like a positive note to someone. We read those on our team meetings every week. And then once a month we do a drawing. We give away $100. So I've given away thousands of dollars over the years. We do just kind of fun, random things like that. But, and there's a lot of studies that will validate what I'm about to say. Your team is more motivated by the work that they're doing, but also the piece that a lot of us forget to do, myself included, and I try and do it as much as I can, but they want to be told thank you. They want to be shown some appreciation. And most of you, if not all of you, you can't afford to pay how much money you would love to pay your team because you've got ratios. I mean, you can't afford to pay a teacher in an infant room $70,000 a year when you've got 4 infants at $1,000 a month, for example. Like the math just doesn't make financial sense. So it's not just the money. I mean, most people that are working at your center with you, they're not typically doing this for the money. I mean, they could make more money, I mean, working at Amazon, for example, delivering packages, but they do it because they want to be around the kids and they want to be around the families and they want to be in a fun, positive environment. And they also join because of your vision.
Right.
But definitely, especially during the holidays, and I'm going to take this to heart myself and make sure I do an individual video actually for each team member. It's just a simple thank you. I appreciate you sharing something personal to that person so it's not generic. Hey, thank you for everything. Have a good holiday. I mean, you got to make it a little bit better than that. But that, I mean, that in and of itself, and maybe you give them something small is plenty. You don't have to be giving them $1,000 gift cards. And I mean, you get a car, you get a car, you get an iPod. I mean, it's
cars, right. But
But
even think about the message. So for you, Michael, let's say you're going to appreciate one of your team members for all the creative ideas that they always bring to the team. You know, your small gift could be a nice set, one of my favorite things, a set of erasable gel pens and a fantastic journal, you know, that may cost $10 or whatever it might be. So you could tie in what you're so appreciative about that staff member to the gift that you give them. So it's not a blanket gift. It's something that helps them bring more of themselves into your workplace every single day. And to me, that is incredibly powerful. And then I also love what you're saying about money. I've been researching this for over 20 years. And I want to ask you, and I want everybody who's listening to this to think about this. If you paid your team what you would consider top dollar, $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour, do you think that that would lead to them being more motivated? And I really want you to think about this because often our minds will default to a place of money, of gifts, but it defaults to that place because we have this mindset of lack in the industry. But even if we were to pay our people $5 or $10 or $20 more an hour, I guarantee you, and I promise you, that would not solve your staff motivation issues. And typically when we look at money, money comes up somewhere number 3 to 6 in all different industries of motivators. It's not number 1, it's not number 2, and it's typically not even number 3. So then we have to really take a step back and look at our work environment and say, okay, what is the real thing that I need to change here? So that the money or the gifts is like the cherry on top of that fantastic, yummy, delicious ice cream sundae, right? So it's not that that money should be the ice cream sundae itself, but it goes on top of whatever else that you're doing. And then it's appreciated. Because we've been having a lot of conversations in our groups where it's like, yes, I give them fantastic gifts and then they complain it's the wrong color, or we give them this and then it's still not enough. But that's because it's symptomatic. And I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but I really want to drive home the point that our minds will default to, I just need to give them more money. I just need to give them something else. And what we really need to do is to look at, well, where's morale being depleted? And what ideas can we implement so that morale is inflated every single month, becomes bigger and bigger, bigger, the driving force. And then we could add those other things in, as like I said, the cherry. If you don't like cherry, maybe it's the whipped cream. I'm not a big cherry person, but to me, it's like the whipped cream or the pecans, whatever it might be on top of that foundation that you built.
Love it. Well, and I know that I saw your Facebook post earlier of some yummy no-bake cookies. So I don't think you're putting a cherry or whipped cream on those, but they look delicious and healthy.
Maybe some dark chocolate though.
Those look great.
Yeah, 3 ingredients: honey, coconut milk, and oats.
Yeah, it looks really good.
There are 4, and peanut butter. Can't forget that.
So Lisa left so we've got a comment here from another one from Susan. So I like this idea. So she said you could do an advent calendar and have a staff pick a number and have some cash prizes. I like that.
Yes, love that.
And then Lisa said, I've seen centers offer a parent date night during the holidays for their parents. Fridays and Saturdays, 4 hours. Parents can go on a date or wrap some presents. So I love that idea as well. Yeah. It's also a great marketing thing. So I like that idea of not only offering that gratis to all of your existing families, but offer it to the community. And why not? And obviously you're going to have capacity, so you have to have some kind of form of reservations, but you think about how easy that would be to get a little write-up in the newspaper, one of the local papers, for example. Maybe you even pitch one of the local journalists, because they're all looking for positive stories right now.
Right.
All of them they're clamoring to all the negative news of COVID, and are we going to go from orange to red, and is Biden the president, is Trump the trend, everything is about that. So they would love to see some good stories. And I mean, hey, this is Michael with ABC Academy or ABC Montessori, and we want to do some fun things for parents. We know that it's been a stressful holiday season. So for the next 3 weekends, we're going to do Friday night and we're going to do Saturday night for 4 hours. All you have to do is visit our website. We'll have some slots. You can sign up, come drop your kids off.
Yes. Oh my.
Yes. So just something like, I mean, imagine the free PR you're not going to have to pay to that. That's not hey, let's pay $10,000 to go on the local news channel. They want those good stories, and no one is pitching those things right now. Right. Everyone is, they're kind of retreating, and they're not really moving the needle much. So take one of these ideas that we've just thrown at you in the last 40 minutes and implement it. I mean, we just threw some great ideas. Susan, Lisa, they've contributed some fun ideas between, teaching, giving your staff kind of fun videos and telling them how much you appreciate them, doing the advent calendar, 12 days of Christmas, parent nights out, Julie with the big dice. I mean, there's all of these ideas. So you've got to grab something. I mean, this is a great time to bring up the energy, finish the year on a really positive note, because you don't want to finish it slow and status quo. You drive some funness.
And this is a time where you could be justifiably crazy, right?
I like that.
Right, because if I'm walking down the street wearing this hat in the summertime, people might be like, whoa, but right now is the time. You can be justifiably crazy, and you could have a lot of fun with your childcare program and your business, and really getting morale up, as well as getting a whole community of raving fans to be on board and excited about who you are. So it's a fantastic time. And if you are tuning in to us and you're on my business page, Childcare Business Success, leave a comment there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to raffle off one of our Always Essential t-shirts. So what I want, though, is your holiday ideas, so that everybody who's watching this can read through those holiday ideas. So make sure you go to my business page. I'm not sure where the comments usually appear, Michael, when we see them here in
so usually they go on the side, but I think you have to click something to accept it on StreamYard so that it shows your name.
Okay.
But people can definitely, because this is playing on your page.
Yeah. So make a comment on my page, on my business page underneath this video. And I'm going to pick somebody to win a free t-shirt from our Always Essential store. And I think that would just be a fun giveaway, because the more ideas that we can get out there with what you're doing, the more people will be helping the process. And I'd love to give you a t-shirt just to say thank you for your ideas and your thoughts. And we have 2 audio programs that are filled with holiday ideas. If you haven't yet grabbed those, you could go to our website, childcarebusinesssuccess.com, sign up for the free membership, and you'll be directed to 2 free audio programs all about holiday ideas.
So I'm putting a post that'll just go on your page also.
Perfect.
And hopefully that works.
Yeah. So one year, gosh, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 10 years, 20 years ago, when I was first in this industry, we did a monthly audio program. And one year I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have everybody call into my phone line and record their ideas, what they're doing for the holiday. So I did that. And then we turned that into an audio program. And now we're making that available to you for no cost at our website. But it's just chocked full of all different things that people were doing. And I played holiday music. The recording's not the best because it was over the telephone. But there were a lot of ideas that I was like, oh, these are some pretty good ideas. These are fun.
I like that. Yeah, I know there's still some marketing companies that use pre-recorded 24-hour messages. And there's a guy named Joe Polish, who's a marketing guy that I've learned some stuff from, that used to market in the carpet cleaning space, and
Okay.
he was big with, still does. I mean, call phone numbers, leave messages, leave ideas, things like that. So everyone's got a cell phone. So
There you go.
that idea a lot.
It's true.
I know that something that has came up more also than not lately has been a lot of not strange, that's probably the wrong word to use, but a lot of gossip around the holidays of not just COVID, but are we getting bonuses? Is there time off? Why is the owner taking time off? Is this person staying, leaving? Like there seems to be, just a lot of stuff. And I know there's been some stuff within my organization, not necessarily gossip, but one of the big things that people always wonder, and I don't really have rhyme or reason for how I do holiday bonuses, but we look at how we did for the year, and then I make judgment calls based on tenure and different. I don't have a perfect formula, personally speaking, but I try and do something, whether it's like a week pay or something like that. So I try and give them a little bit something that they can use for holiday gifts. So I know that's kind of going. A couple people have already asked, so I kind of nipped that one in the bud on Monday and said I'll be giving out bonuses on XYZ pay. But I know that you deal with workplace gossip often. I know you've got courses. I mean, you do separate lives just about this topic, and I really didn't think that it was such a big issue until I started learning from you and listening to some of the things that you were dealing with your centers. But what are you seeing around the holiday times currently with gossip, and kind of throw a few ideas there?
And I think in this industry, it's always been one of the big problems. Even when I started 20 years ago, people in my audiences would be like, yes, we have gossip. Yes, we have gossip. So I think that it can be exasperated. So it can be exaggerated during these times when people are talking about like, oh, I wonder if we're going to get a present. I wonder if we're going to like that gift. Well, one thing I really want people to understand is that if there is gossip, and this is the same thing that's true with turnover, absenteeism, tardiness, those things are symptomatic of other things not being present in your workplace. So the question to ask ourselves is really what's missing from the formula. And I've identified like 7 main reasons as to why people gossip. And if we could target those 7 main reasons and really implement our plan to wipe those suckers out, then you're not going to be dealing with workplace gossip. But the first thing you have to ask yourself is, do I believe it's possible that I could have a program or have a business without workplace gossip in it? Because you've really got to adopt the mindset that, you know what, this is possible. We're going to make it happen. We are going to be eliminating workplace gossip. So it's really going to start with your mindset and your belief about it to direct the action that you're going to implement to eliminate it. So we are hearing lots of things, but it's not typical just for the holiday season. To me, it's a year-round problem. And we've even had, childcare owners who will call me and say, my business was collapsed because there was gossip, and people in the community believed the gossipers, believed the negative reviews, believed the negative stuff that was going around, and we closed.
I just had a conversation in the last week or so with someone that exact thing happened. It wasn't a child care center. It was someone in one of my networking groups, and he was kind of had a partnership agreement with someone, a loose partnership agreement from what I gathered. And there was some kind of gossip, something happened, and the partner ended up sending out a message to all the clients basically saying, I'm splitting up. If you want to continue doing business, you have to sign my new contract. And I guess it all related back to some gossip of thinking something happened with the other, something weird. But it literally, their business overnight for one of the partners went to zero, completely evaporated. Yeah. The business that was a 7-figure business like that over something that allegedly had happened. So the stuff is serious stuff. And I always swept gossip under the rug, but as Julie said, it's typically an indication of other issues. Like it
really is. Yeah, it's a symptom, and what we have to do is figure out, well, what's the true cause? Because there's cause and effect, and to me, gossip is the total effect of what's happening. So it's like, well, what's the cause? And that's what we really have to target, and what we really have to focus in on is what's the cause, so that we can wipe this out. And in every situation that I've seen where workplace gossip might take a business owner under, it's accumulation. It's not like overnight, boom, there's gossip and now the business is destroyed. It is an emotional reaction. And it is a way that people choose to communicate, but it's a very raw emotion typically that comes out with some of that destructive of workplace gossip. And it's typically because there was an issue brought up, it didn't get resolved, we weren't able to talk about it as adults, and now it's just blown up, it's escalated, and now boom, business is gone.
Crazy.
Business is gone, clients are gone, staff members are gone. And the same thing happens with staff members too. And I really want you to think about this, is that people mentally check out long before they physically check out. And I encourage everybody to write that down. People check out emotionally or mentally long before they'll check out physically. And I've dealt with some owners where it's like, yeah, we have this person here, and they're not really that motivated. And I'll say, well, how long have they been working with you? It's like, oh, 10 years. I'm like, really? They've been sticking around for 10 years, unmotivated, dragging the team down. How much has that costed you? So I really want you to become clear that people are emotionally checking out, mentally checking out before they physically check out. And that's so important to understand.
Well, that's a really good point. And it's the same thing, not just with your team, but with families that you're serving as well. Yeah. So what I have found, and with my side clients, so there's always some surprises here and there. But when I look at when a client decides to either work with a different company or part ways or try and do it internally, there usually has been something leading up to it, and they have checked out a couple of months prior. Same thing with the family, that you can usually read body language and tonality, and something is going to change to show you that you need to jump in and try and save the situation. Yes. Way back when, and I still do some in some cases, but way back when I used to work with a lot of local financials, banks, credit unions that were local to a community. And what they realized was, after we did some research, one of the questions, if I take a step back, the challenge that they asked me to solve was, Michael, how can we try and save clients, members, customers from leaving before they leave? And the simple question that I asked back was, well, what are some of the habits that they have to show you that they're getting ready to potentially leave? So in this case, if they had a debit card, they stopped using their debit card for 2 weeks. So if they had active transactions, and then for a two-week period, because 1 week wasn't enough, because a lot of times those were, if they were on vacation, maybe they wouldn't use it. So we found that like 10 days or 14 days, if they stopped for that time period, they have most likely are actively looking, or they have another financial that they're looking to switch to. And then we dug deeper and looked at other things. Well, they stopped. I mean, direct deposit they turned off, or just different things. Mm-hmm. And because they, own your data, they could then take this stuff. And what we did was we set up campaigns and triggers. So like an if then this statement. So if the customer stops using their debit cards for 2 weeks, then trigger this email to the manager to give them a personal phone call. And you're not going to call and say, hey, you haven't used your debit card for 2 weeks. Are you leaving us? There were different scripts and things like that. But I'm sharing this because you can do the same thing with your team.
Yes.
Did someone that used to come in every single day at 7 o'clock, 20 minutes before a shift or 30 minutes before a shift, for the last year, they've done that. They've never missed a day, but the last 2 weeks they've came in 1 minute before and they've clocked in. Well, that's definitely something that you need to take a look at. With parents, they always used to pay their bills on time. Maybe paying their bills on time isn't the perfect example with COVID and people out of jobs, but that could be. Or they always would do summer camp, or the last 3 years they've always referred people to you, or just you want to look at some of those triggers.
They used to come in and say hello. Now I haven't heard from them in 6 months. Yeah,
exactly. And you want to try and stop that stuff in its tracks before it's too late. Yeah. And you're not going to save all of them. You're not going to save every team member. You're not going to save every family. In my case, I'm not going to save every client. but you are going to save some. And as Julie has talked about it in the past, I mean, losing a good team member that, I mean, is aligned with your vision and your mission and is a great team member, it's extremely costly, extremely costly. And we've had more turnover this year than I've had ever in history. And I was looking at our year-end financials and how are we going to finish the year? And I start looking at, well, geez, so we had to replace this person. So we lost a couple of months here. And what was that cost? I mean, we're talking not even tens of thousands, but more like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if that director walks out the door because you kind of knew they were unhappy, but you didn't do anything, you didn't show some extra love and appreciation, and then all of a sudden they take 15 families with them, and not only do you have to replace the director, but now you've got to replace $10,000 a month of income. So you got to be more proactive. I guess that's my little soapbox.
And this is why your onboarding process is so important, because your onboarding doesn't even stop at, like the first few weeks. It can continue on for 6 months, 12 months, where there's little things that you're doing as part of the onboarding process. So your new team members aren't left by the wayside feeling like, okay, well, I was important for a day or I was important for a week and now I don't really matter. And it's all the people who are doing the wrong behaviors that are getting all the attention, which is the way that it usually works in our organization. It's like all of the people who are doing the wrong things are all the ones that's occupying our mental space and dictating the actions that we're taking. And we really need to reverse that. And that in itself is a huge gift. If you could just simply walk in every day and say, woohoo, who's doing the right thing? And let me just call your name from the rooftop and celebrate you because you work here. Really switch that formula around to where you are celebrating those people who are doing the right thing. You're singing those praises. You could start doing positive gossip, which is the whole thing that I talk about, which is like, oh my goodness, did you see what so-and-so did? And wasn't that fantastic? So you're really raving about the people who are really performing at the level that you need them to perform.
So I know that you have, we're coming up to the top of the hour. I know you have a course or a live. Tell us a little bit about the gossip.
Oh, what we're doing with gossip?
Tell me about what you're doing, and then I want to put a couple of links in here.
Cool. And we talked to everybody about, setting a theme. So we did that, our Childcare Business Success Group this month, the month of November. Now we're overlapping into December, was our month to talk about workplace gossip. So I went in there and I did videos and I wrote different little snippets of things all about workplace gossip. And this Friday, we're topping it off by doing a live Q&A session. So you could come, you could bring all your questions. You could even ask your questions in advance, but it's going to be a live only event, meaning there is going to be no replay, but it is going to be Friday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern. And if you are interested in being a part of that, and you can make a commitment to be there so that you could start eliminating workplace gossip, all you have to do is go to our group. And I think it's just, facebook.com/groups/childcare business success, maybe. So that's what I think it is, but it is in our Childcare Business Success group where you can join into the event for no cost, for total free. And if you can't find it here on Facebook, you could still go to childcarebusinesssuccess.com and click on free leadership group, join that group, and then you'll be directed over to the Facebook group.
So I'm going to put your main URL, Childcare Business Success, so we have that on there.
Thank you.
No, definitely. I mean, Julie is the queen of solving workplace gossip, solving the mindset around gossip, and she's studied it for many, many, many years. And if you haven't learned anything from the last 40 minutes or so of the conversation, gossip was one of our topics, but it's definitely something that you want to make sure that you move in the right direction, you get under wraps, and you solve it for good, not just nip it in the bud for the month of December.
Yeah, and it's a huge workplace issue, and it typically goes hand in hand with other things. And even some people are like, oh, I didn't have gossip this month, but I had it last month. You might still have it. You're just not hearing it as much as you were. So we really want your workplace to be one where you don't have to police, you don't have to control. You have people who are absolutely inspired to take action in the name of your vision and to support your vision. And they are truly there for you. And I know that's what you want. And that's what we want to help you do, is really transform your workplace.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, so that gets me excited. And I do want to share one last holiday idea too. That might be a
Please.
little original, if that's okay. So I was thinking a lot, and I think I read a story about this one years ago about a company who was doing this, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But think about charitable causes that your people might be really passionate about, whether it's child abuse, whether it's a dog, animal rescue, whatever it might be. And if goals are set and achieved, or you have somebody who's going to win that monthly prize of the person who met their goal, stayed on top of it, or referred the most people into your organization, whatever it might be, you could award them with the opportunity to give a certain dollar amount check to a charity of their choice. And this could also be something that you do a news story on. So it could be a little marketing tied in with the effort itself. But how cool would it be if I'm passionate about dance, or I'm passionate about children, or I'm passionate about animals, that I get to go on our school's behalf and make $100 donation to that charity because I was the top performer, or I did this, or I did that for the month. So it's just a really nice way to incentivize your staff, where you allow them the opportunity to step up and to do something really great for something that they're so passionate about.
Absolutely love the idea.
Yeah, so I love that idea.
I'm going to pull up. We always end with a quote. So we gave Julie's URL. So we've got that up here. Perfect. Definitely go in there and grab. Get yourself into the free Facebook group. Get yourself in these lives that Julie has been doing. It's definitely a great thing to gain some momentum on for.
Yeah, come hang out with us a little bit more. We miss you.
Definitely.
And remember to leave a comment if you're tuning in on my Facebook page, and we're going to pick a winner to get one of our Always Essential t-shirts. And I think it's a must-have for the holidays. So
I'm going to pull up a quote.
Ooh, okay, you got one?
I had one. Yeah, just let me find it here. So one of my earlier mentors was the late and great J. Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing.
Okay.
So one of the phrases that so the whole premise to guerrilla marketing is kind of around this phrase. So he said, achieving conventional goals such as profits and joy with unconventional methods such as investing energy instead of money is the way to successfully and happily grow business. Ooh. So we talked about today, you don't have to throw huge bonuses, huge prizes at your team. You can be unconventional and not only motivating and growing your staff, but growing your center as well. So unconventional, outside the box things, that is our challenge for you for today.
Absolutely.
So we will be back here next week. Every week. Yeah, we'll be here next week, every week, continuing to deliver the fire with some great content. Like it, share it, comment. Make sure you comment on Julie's post and go and grab that shirt. I know I've seen a couple of people have already commented.
Awesome.
So make sure you get in there and leave it, and have a wonderful rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And as always, thank you for tuning in to join us.
Thank you. We'll see y'all soon.